Gumby over at Heroes Martial Arts. It is April 21st, 2020. Let's get into our warm-ups. We're gonna go ahead and start off 25 jumping jacks, 25 mountain climbers, air squats, push-ups, parachuters, in the middles, basically our usual routine. I'm gonna throw a couple of additional warm-ups, again, kind of building up on what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks, kind of adding in some extra motions along with this. We'll have a conversation about distance management and Jiu Jitsu. Show you a couple of techniques, a couple of things we're going to go through today. Today's going to be a little bit more concept heavy, and then we'll have a cool down. Okay. If you're not on Zoom, if you go out on the Facebook link, the YouTube link right now, maybe you found this through Facebook. I will check the chat thing, so I'm going to leave myself a little bit of time for any questions that I have to say about distance management and a little bit more theory heavy today. But I need to get a workout in also. I need to kind of move around. I need to sweat. The gi of the day is the one versus me basic in white. Pretty much our standard academy gi in here right now. Lightweight, one of my favorites. It's a warm day. Get ready to sweat in this. All right, let's start off with 25 jumping jacks. We'll count this out together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Mountain climbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And I just realized those aren't mountain climbers. Those are known as cross countries. But whatever, you get the idea. Air squat, my favorite. Posture good, shoulders over hips, each shoulder width apart. And on my beat, going back down to 20. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay? I'm gonna drop into push-ups now. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hold it up here, nice and high, plank position on your toes. Now let's go ahead and do mountain climbers. Mountain climbers where you kick your hands up to where your feet are. We'll go 2 equals 1, 20 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Drop down to parachuters. So you're not flashing the YouTube audience. You're not giving them a flag. Pause when you lay down your belly, make the adjustment. Don't have your stomach. That won't feel that great. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. In the middles, big deep breath variation. And flat your back. Big deep breath in through your nose. And come up, don't crunch chin, chest, shoulder off the ground, reach with your feet, small the back. Hold it. Exhale slowly through your mouth. Don't hold the breath. You're right there. Come back down. Big deep breath in through your nose. Repeat the process. Work at your own pace, not necessarily mine. Get back control of your breath. Again, move as much air in and out of your lungs as possible. One more. Rounds, we don't have a timer. All right. I do have a timer, I'm just not running it. We're going to go 20 ups. Okay. Try to follow along my beat if you can. Aim for 20. Remember, feet up as high as you can go. Feet out a little bit away from yourself. Don't stack on your head and neck. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Neck exercises. Laying flat on your back. 20 chin to chest, 20 chin to shoulder, 20 ear to each shoulder. Per always, let's try to make it through that rotation without having your head actually touch the mat. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Chin to shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And ear to shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Awesome. Okay. Over the shoulder bridge, bring your feet in close to your body. Push off the ground, lift up your hip, reach up and over the top of your clavicle and collarbones, not just reaching over the side to side. Remember, as you do this, should be over the tops of your clavicles. Your arms should not actually be touching the ground. But you want to reach back. Like I said, I'm a ground fighter, not physically being on the ground, because I know I use from the ground. From the ground, to my feet, from my knees to my hips, up and over my collarbone, stretching back, arching back. For simulating, this is UPA. For simulating it, we're going to use this in drilling / sparring. Make that connection, right? When somebody's on top of you that does not want to leave. Alternate left and right. Just driving through. A few more. Keep going at your own pace. I'm working at the pace I like. Good. Okay. In place. Shrimp moves, hip escapes. Take that connection. One foot on the ground. Turn to your side to the straight leg, toes point towards the ground. Now I'm going to go ahead. Push with my bent leg, lift my hips up, pull my knee to my chest. I should be able to do this variation in place. Okay. And I'll go ahead, alternate left and right. Get used to this motion. Okay, I can tell you after a couple of weeks having to do this in place with you, I've actually gotten better at this. But I think my strength is pretty good. Not necessarily in one place. If I had to do this in a small area, if I had to do this against a cage, which could happen, not likely, but it could. Get to your chest. Right, there's two ways to accomplish this. I can have the flexibility to pull my leg in where I want, or I can keep my hips back. I'm imagining that you don't have a lot of space where you're at. Maybe you do. We're going ahead. Moving our hips, pulling our knees in. Really trying to thud my knee in my chest each and every time. A few more, a few more, a few more. All right, good. Gonna go ahead, streamers. Gauge your core, relax your hips, pull your toes in, turn your heels. Take big circles, paddling inwards. If you've been practicing this, if you've been doing this on your own time, it should get a little bit easier. Keep that core intact, a flat guard's dead go. Keep paddling inwards. Keep paddling inwards, I see you out there. Trying to wipe down a wall with your feet, trying to make bigger circles out. Let's go ahead and switch directions, paddle out. It's all hip rotation. My knees open and close, but this is all hip rotation. Switch directions, paddle in. Switch directions, paddle out. In, pick up the pace. Out. Pick up the pace. In, out, in, out, in, out. Good. All right. Let me turn the volume down on this because the sound is definitely distracting me. And quite frankly, I'm pretty easily distracted. All right, well, warm up, what do I want to show right now, okay? You know, Jiu-Jitsu having its origins in the same common ancestor in Judo. And actually, in a lot of ways, there's an original form of Judo that will say that Jiu-Jitsu came out of. Of course, Judo came out of Jiu-Jitsu. Chicken egg, what came first? But as much as we like to consider this a ground fighting art, okay, how do we get to the ground? How do we get safely to the ground? And how do we get safely to the ground? How do we function on the ground? How do we transition the match or the fight into the ground? Okay, better know how to land in the correct way. Okay, AKA break falls. Okay, now two things you have to keep in mind on a break fall. Number one, okay, if I'm going to land break falls, it's going to hurt. You might get used to it, you might not too, but break falls will always hurt a little bit. I'm not going to lie about that. The one thing that I will never aim to injure, the one thing I'm going to protect at all costs is my head. Head and neck, head and spine, if you think about it that way, my head, okay? You know a lot about concussive damage right now, got to protect the brain, okay? Need that gray matter right there to figure out what's going on after that, okay? So I want to go ahead, I'll like in training, drilling, whatever, I'm going to protect the head at all costs. That's number one. Number two, this might seem counterintuitive, but when I land on the ground, I want to make sure I spread out the impact as much as possible. So I actually want to land with as much of my surface area on the ground as possible, as opposed to landing on one spot. Look, in terms of common injuries or in terms of common bad injuries that I've seen, somebody not knowing how to fall down is a big one right there. Somebody thinking that they're going to stop things by posting out one way or the other, okay? All that force coming onto an arm, I've seen a lot of nasty arm breaks that way, okay? We want to go ahead and learn how to go ahead and minimize the impact, okay? So keeping all that in mind, talking about basic break falls right now, what we're going to go ahead and do is learn how to hit the ground properly, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and start off nice and easy on the ground. My back flat on the ground, my feet at a comfortable position, it really doesn't matter. But again, I'm protecting my head and my neck, I'm protecting my brain against concussive action right here. I'm going to keep my chin tucked into my chest. Now you know why we do all those neck exercises with strong neck right there. I need to be able to pull this back. I don't want to whiplash when I fall back where my head winds up hitting the ground. That would be terrible. So I always do this with my chin tucked into my chest, holding up right here. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and practice, well, if not the falling portion of this right now, we're just going to go practice the breaking aspect of this right now. Hopefully you're on carpet, hopefully you're mat, hopefully you're someplace where you're comfortable hitting this right now. I'm going to go ahead and have my arms outstretched, my fingertips are wide open right now as I do this, way up in front of me right now. And I'm going to go ahead and swing this down towards my feet like a lowercase t. Do this from standing right now so you can see where my hands are coming down. Always making this action right here. Coming down in this fashion, driving down right here, not straight back, definitely not here. I can cause all kinds of injuries right there. So I'm practicing, I'm hitting the ground, like so. Okay? When I land, when my arm hits the ground, it's not just my palms that are hitting, it's the whole surface area of my arm when I do this. Whole area of my arm right now when I do this. So again, I'm going to start off and make this easier right now. I'll start off flat on my back. Legs kind of outstretched right now, okay? In a comfortable position, the hands will start straight up. Big motion right here, big sound. And then go ahead, hit the ground with all of my hand right there, with all of my arm. Everything is landing at the same time. If I was to land on one particular spot, if I was to concentrate into one particular area, that would be concentrating that pain, that injury into that spot, and I actually could cause an injury there. Spread out the feet over a large area right here. So, makes a big noise. That big noise symbolizes sounding off right now that energy that otherwise I would be impacting with is being dispersed in other ways. So big motions, big sounds, big things with the arms going down like a lowercase t. Okay? I don't want to do this too much because it might overload the microphone right now. I don't know if I can do this softly. Have your hands straight up. Just go ahead, let them drop down. Hold the arm hitting right now like a lowercase. Naturally, right now where I'm at, I have the benefit of being on a mat, which is on the benefit of being on a sprung floor, which has the benefit of being on a yoga floor on top of this. Okay, I'm not going to test it by jumping too high on this, but this is about as cushy of a landing as you can. Okay, I wouldn't do this with the old bones themselves right here, but I've seen folks that are really good at their break falls. You know, we've had the San Jose State U.S. Olympic Judo team training at the academy before, and they've been along before. I've seen them throw each other so hard that they would bounce off the ground. And not when I had these cushy sprung floors, but when I had the mats laid down with nothing else underneath them right there. Okay, I can't imagine that that doesn't hurt, but there is a level of conditioning you can bring yourself to right there. Okay, now the next phase of this drill right here, okay, is we're going to practice hitting it in time. Okay, if I'm flat on the back and I'm already on the ground, I have all the time in the world that I need. Okay, but I need to go ahead and hit this with timing right now. I need to go ahead and land. I want to go ahead and hit the ground as it hits me. So I'm going to start off in this crouching position right now. I'm just kind of flat on my foot, kind of, as they used to call it, school the perch and bird where I'm at right now. I'm going to tuck my chin into my chest. I'm going to keep my neck strong because I don't want my head whipping back. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try to do this falling back, but if that makes you nervous, you can go ahead and roll back. We'll do the roll back version right there. And as I roll back, as I land on the ground, okay, as I flatten on the ground, I'm going to go ahead and actively hit the ground as I do this. I'm actively going to go ahead and strike or slap down the ground or break the fall with that big motion. So now we're trying timing. Where I'm starting from here, I'm on my toes, I keep my chin tucked in my chest. Remember, I'll make a noise, I'll land, I'll be hard with anything right there. I'm willing, if I had to break anything else, but I got to protect the brain. Okay, the chin stays tucked in the chest. Okay. We'll go ahead and if this is novice to you or depending on your surface, we'll go ahead and kind of roll softly back right now. Okay, just roll softly back. And go ahead and hit the mat right now as we do this. Okay? Now, if I want to develop a good habit about this right there, because this is just kind of starting off in the beginning, explaining to somebody as if you've never done this before, and maybe you're watching this, you haven't. Notice I keep my knees apart right now, okay? And they just kind of open up as I do this right here. Like so. That's because if I whip back really quickly, okay, I'm a flexible guy. This actually could happen to me. If my knees are together, if I whip back really quickly, there is a danger that my knees will hit my face. Okay, maybe you're not even that flexible of a person, but if you whip back and get thrown back fast enough, that could happen. Your knee will go straight to your face. Okay, force times momentum might override flexibility in that case. Okay, if you're flexible, you doubly have to worry about it. So by having my knees slightly open as I go ahead and roll and fall back, I'll eliminate that possibility. Okay, so once again, we'll just go ahead and practice a few times. Again, if you're a novice at this one right here, you can go ahead and just roll back, chin tucked into your chest. Okay, go ahead and fall back. And as you fall back, as you hit the ground, you're gonna hit the ground back. Or as the ground hits you, you hit the ground back. It makes you making a big noise, so it disperses that energy. A couple more times, chin tucked into your chest. Boom, a couple more times, chin tucked. Times, chin tucked into your chest. As you get advanced with this, if you're feeling like it, if you have the type of surface that can handle this right now, watch this, okay? Instead of rolling softly back, I'm gonna go ahead and fall back. It's gonna look a bit more awkward, but the idea is as I fall back right now, I want to land with my whole back right there. Not the small of my back, not on the shoulders, flat on my back, chin tucked into the chest. The idea is I want to go ahead and disperse that energy as much as possible. I don't want to land right there. I want to land on my whole back. You'll notice that as I'm landing, granted it's a soft, short distance of soft landing right there, I can actually talk that way through it. I'm not knocking the wind out of myself. Take a big throw from a big player on that. It might knock the wind out of you, but the more we can lessen the impacts from this position right there, the more you kind of technically learn how to do this, the more you're going to be able to go ahead and survive those falls. Chin tucked into the chest. Boom. And again, I can talk my way through that right there. Won't hear a change in my breath as I do this. Okay. And again, it's not my favorite thing in the world to take break falls. Okay. But I do realize the importance of being able to do this. I've often said, in terms of practicality of the art, if I've ever shown you something in Jiu Jitsu, I hope you use it in the gym. I hope you use it in the competition if you get to it. In terms of self-defense, yeah, I hope you never have to use it. I don't like hearing those stories all that much. Okay, and hopefully in today's society, you come up to a situation where you don't have to use that. Okay, what are the chances of that? I don't know. It depends on where you live. Okay, chances of you falling down at one point in your life, okay, probably much greater. Okay, probably much greater than your opportunities to get into an altercation, depending on where you're at. But everybody's fallen down at least once in your life. Okay, you know the proper way to fall, if you know the proper techniques, if you know the fundamentals of what you're trying to do and what not to do, it makes it less likely you're going to get injured. Believe me, I've seen some bad injuries on this. Let's try this a few more times. We're going to go full-fledged flat on the back, chin tucked in the chest, aim there, and make a big noise. Try it up again. Come up on your toes, rock back, flat on your back, big noise. There you go. On your toes, flat on your back, big noise. Boom. There you go. Now, following along with this so far, good on the break falls right now? Good. Let me show you something else. Something that you'll learn in Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, martial arts is sometimes I'm going to go ahead and take the impacts I'm going to break fall on this. Sometimes you want to go ahead and disperse it by rolling through. Okay? Particularly when you start from the ground, maybe it's from the feet. I'm not going to do from the feet today, but we're going to go ahead and learn how to do a backwards roll, okay, and roll through the Jiu-Jitsu, the martial art roll. And again, the key components on this are still the same. It would be in the same key components that we have to break falls. Number one, protect my noggin, protect my head, protect my neck, okay? Again, I mean this, okay? Not only does this not mean that you're gonna be less successful on the technique, but not only does it mean you'll be less successful on the technique, you have a greater chance of losing your match in the encounter, whatever. Trust me, if you don't take care of your head and your neck and your spine, it'll affect the quality of your life, even if you decide to retire from Jiu-Jitsu, okay? So I want to keep that healthy. I want you to go ahead and think about that, whatever we do right now, because Jiu-Jitsu is supposed to enhance the quality of our lives, not detract from it. Having given you that little speech right there, when I go ahead and do my rollback, sometimes this looks like a somersault, but it's not really a somersault. I'm going to Jiu-Jitsu fashion. When I go back, I don't want to go over my head and my neck. I'm very protective of that, okay? I'll go ahead, even though I'm going to go straight back right now, I'm going to go ahead and get my head and my neck out of the way as much as possible. I will pick a side right now. I'm going to go ahead and put my chin into my right shoulder right now to make things easier for myself. Okay, try to get my head and my neck out of the way as much as possible. And really what I'm going to try to go after right now is between my neck and my shoulder, my traps, my collarbone, this area right here. I'm going to roll over that, not over my head and my neck. My head and my neck stays out of the way. So I'm going to tuck my chin into my shoulder right here. I'm going to start on my toes. I'll go ahead and roll back through this. I'm going to go in a straight line. There's a straight line right here. You can count me. You can hold the roller up to your screen, whatever you want to do. And you'll see as I go back, I'm going to go ahead and roll over my collarbone, over my shoulder, but not over my head or my neck. Okay? I want to go ahead and roll through that. Now, if this area right here between your shoulder and your collarbone is too small of a target for you to hit, and you find that difficult right now, there's a little bit of a cheat move you can do. Or so if I tuck my chin into my right shoulder here, I'm going to put my left arm straight out. So instead of having to hit this area between my neck and my shoulder right here at the trap, I'm going to go ahead and send that out to my hand, and that's a much larger surface area. It gives me a much larger area. And again, I'm going to still roll straight back. I'm going to follow along this line right here. Okay, you can see, boom. So I go aiming for here, but I have my whole arm out right here, and then protecting my head and my neck. Okay, most important thing, just like the Wu-Tang Clan says, protect your neck. Okay. Now, I would advise, sometimes when you learn a technique, I would advise you to go ahead and work to one strong side until you get it, and then work to your opposite side so you have the ability to do things back and forth. Okay? And on some techniques, on some partner drills, on some things, most people will favor a left side or a right side. Okay? Might be depending on whether you're left-handed or right-handed. Okay? On most things. Now, particularly offensive things, I would say definitely get dominant with one side, then work your weak side. On defensive maneuvers, any kind of escape, you don't have the luxury oftentimes to pick which side to work to. It's going to be more based on what your opponent's doing. They have the initiative, you're defending at this point right there. So I highly advise in those cases, you should pretty quickly develop your escape to both sides, okay? Or an escape to both sides if you want to be really technical about it. But oftentimes I think you should work to both sides on defensive. On core fundamental movements like we have right now, particularly this backwards roll, okay, whereas I was favoring right now and going over my left shoulder, I really think that you should work this on both sides, because again, when you get fall, when you throw, when you whatever, you definitely don't have the aspect. It's not your choice to fall most of the time, so you better know how to work to both sides on this, okay? Especially with these backwards rolls, because I find when I teach this in class, a lot of times when people try to do it to both sides, they default to one side, okay? So I'll go ahead and go to my other side right now. I should be as proficient on this. I'll tuck my chin into my left shoulder. I'm on my toes. I'm going to go ahead and roll back. Roll over my right shoulder. And boom, one line. There we go. Again, if you found that difficult, you can help yourself out by putting that arm out. Okay. So now I'm not just aiming for my shoulder and my collarbone, but I have it at my arm with it. Okay. Chin tucked into my shoulder right here. One line straight back. And there we go. Okay. Like I said, make a note of that, especially on those backwards rolls. Go ahead and do a few of those. Work that one to both sides. Get comfortable with both sides. Don't get too dominant on one side or the other on one side. Okay. Again, what I see a lot of times is people roll back thinking they're doing it on both sides, and they default to the other, and they wind up rolling over their head and neck. Okay. And again, what's the rule? Never want to roll over my head and neck. I want to protect my head and my neck. Jiu-Jitsu is supposed to enhance my life, not detract from my life. Okay. So we need to learn how to learn properly, safely. Not to say there's not risks, and not to say you're going to get bumped and bruised or whatever on this, or aches and pains, or what have you. Okay. I'll tell you all kinds of stories about that. Okay. I know my risks, but I'm very protective of myself at the same time. Okay. I've often said, I don't take any mat time for granted. I don't know if this will be the last time I'll be on the mat for whatever reason. Okay. When I say that, and you say like, oh, it's this pie in the sky thing, and then coronavirus strikes. Don't get struck from YouTube, but this pandemic strikes, and we're all off the mat from each other. Okay, totally out of our control, but that's what happens sometimes. Okay, so protect your neck, like the Wu-Tang Clan says. Good, good. We get a quick sip of water because I am talking a lot. They're following along and enjoying this. Do you have water in here? All stay hydrated, kids. If anything, drink a lot of water. Usually I recommend when you're training, have a bottle, a reusable jar, bottle, special thing right here of water as you go through. Stay hydrated. It'll keep you healthier. Leave you me. Okay? Awesome. We're going to work more on those rolls, break falling, et cetera, as we go through these classes right here, as we go through my class. How much longer we're going through these sheltered classes, but I want to go ahead and give you some material to go over. I want to give you something to practice. I want to give you one thing to practice throughout this, even long after you're off this camera. I do think the skill, your ability to break, fall, and roll are important. And regardless of whether you're a jiu-jitsu student or not, I do think everybody should know this, okay? So if you're quarantined in the house and people go, hey, I don't want to do that jiu-jitsu stuff or whatever that is, teach them how to break fall, work with them on this, okay? Protect yourself doing this. I guarantee you, even if you have no intention of ever getting on the mat, even if you never get into a fight, you will fall down at some point in your life, okay? Tell you some funny stories about that, or some not so funny stories, but let's just say you will fall down at one point. So we're going to incorporate some break fall. Okay? Now, again, keep talking. I want to go a little bit conceptual on this right here. Wanted to talk a bit about distance management within jiu-jitsu. Okay, distance management in jiu-jitsu, a little bit of a self-defense lesson on this. Okay? Now, a lot of times when people think about jiu-jitsu, they think ground fighting. Okay, they'll use the word like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm gonna be a cage fighter, I'm gonna use jiu-jitsu for my groundwork, and we'll use this for this. And now, I'm not making fun of mixed martial arts, and I realize that you need a blend of different things, and jiu-jitsu being among them with this. But being a jiu-jitsu specialist, I kind of bristle at the idea that jiu-jitsu is only good on ground. And I really, really hate the word jits. Okay? I have very few formal rules in my gym. One of them is don't call it jits. Okay? You don't hear me clearly this when I say that word right there. It sounds like something that's a bit vulgar. I always say jiu-jitsu on this. Okay? But don't say it the other way. Okay? But I digress. Just rant right there. Okay? I prefer to say, instead of saying it's a ground fight, which is not unfair, again, if I'm a ground fighter, it's not because necessarily I like being on the ground. I do, but it's not necessarily because of that. It's not because I know how to use the ground effectively. Okay? I know how to weaponize the ground. I know how to smash you into it. I know how to defend myself using the ground and framing off of it. As long as I'm connected to the ground, okay? It's never just me versus my opponent. It's me and the whole world versus my opponent. Okay? But again, I digress. If I want to have an accurate description of what jiu-jitsu is, I prefer to call it a clinch up. What I do in closed distance. Okay? I've got my friend Kevin right here. Okay? How I got that name, I don't know. That's what we decided to name him right there. Originally belonged to Trevor, that's what we'll call him right there. Okay? When I say clinch up right now, there's a theory out there, there's a way of breaking down martial arts in between distance management or ranges, okay? So I'm going to should be timely right now, given the fact that we're ordered to stay 6 feet away from strangers at this point, okay? Well, a little bit more than 6 feet away, actually about 9 feet away from Kevin over there, okay? So we'll call this safe distance right now. If I'm standing in line at the grocery store, you want to stay at least 6 feet away from your opponent, from your partner, from whatever right there. So we'll call that outside of 6 feet range right there. Well, I have a new term on this because this is where it's at. It's coronavirus range or safety from coronavirus range. If you believe that, you know, could be 9 feet, could be more on that right there if you following along the science on that. But they're all saying 6 feet. Okay. From our perspective, outside of biological weapons right there, or really any weapons right there, and in normal polite society, that 6 feet away right there is out of range. Okay, I really can't do anything to Kevin from 6 feet away unless I can be a carrier at this point. Okay, but from the martial arts definitions right there, there's different ranges also. You can be in a little bit closer. I can be in kicking range right there. And this is kicking range to Kevin right there. Okay. Maybe an art like a karate or kung fu or Muay Thai would be in that, we'll call that range 3 right there. Clearly, I'm not a Muay Thai fighter. If you want to learn more about Muay Thai, 8 a.m. tomorrow with you net. Okay? Go through that workout today. Okay? So that's range 3. Range 2, a little bit closer right now. Sometimes we call this being in the pocket. Okay? Punching range. Boxing range right there. Okay? Very famously, if you know anything about boxing right there, if you follow boxing, right there, boxers are always trying to get into this range, moving out, in and out right there, but there's a certain range that they want to be in, okay? If you also follow boxing right there, you know they're not effective, boxers and boxers, right up to here, clinch range, okay? This is the range that grappler thrives in right now. As a jiu-jitsu fighter, professor, whatever, this is the range that I will take, Don't want to be here. Don't want to be here. On today's society, maybe I want to be out here because I'm not a threat at this point. Okay, but I'm moving through the ranges. I'm going to move into clinch range. Okay, I'm going to clinch arts right there. Okay, I don't want to live in the other two ones right there. You might be more skilled than me. I'm going to assume that right there between punching and kicking range. It's not my forte. But if I get to clinch range, that's my domain right there. Before we get into this. Okay? Now, keeping in mind that right there, that there's 3 ranges of fighting, 4 to consider outer range right there. Go back and look at some old videos of the Gracie fighters fighting right there, the Gracie brothers, particularly Hoist and Hickson. Hoist and Hickson in the 90s from the early UFCs, they had a stance that in some ways in modern MMA looks a little bit outdated right there, but from a self-defense standpoint, this was very kind of popular right here, where they went ahead and they fought like so. Don't believe me? Again, go back and look at those fights. UFC 1 through 5 with Japan Valley 2 to 94, 95. Heck, even like the Pride, look at the way they're moving right there. Look at what they're doing in contrast to how other martial arts works. Their stances right there. Number one, a lot of the stance right there, their weight is actually on their back foot. Their posture and the line will run between their head and their back foot right here, okay? As if they were leaning back, as if they were taking their head out of range right now from striking distance to their opponents, okay? Again, they're not strikers, okay? They don't want to exchange traumatic blows with their opponent right there. And they have the same philosophy, protect the head, protect the brain. They're doing everything they can to keep that away from themselves right there. Keep that out of danger right there, so they're moving it far back. Certain other MMA fighters have that stance right there, or they're on their back foot and leaning back and their head is out this way. Also, Lyoto Machida, the Machida style karate. Machida's also a black belt in Jiu Jitsu, but it took a long time for people to figure that out. But its stance was back here. Its stance is here, as opposed to most people's stances would be more centered right here, or even a little bit forward as they're going in for strikes. Okay, that's not the stance of the Jiu Jitsu fighter, or at least the early Jiu-Jitsu fighters right here. Okay, this kind of hand out and flicking out right here. This is merely to keep distance. Okay, this is merely to keep distance right here. Again, it's all about distance management right here. I don't really want to knock over Kevin right there. Just to make sure that nobody gets within that range. Okay, nobody gets in the skirmish. We all know that this particular kick isn't going to do any damage. Okay. However, if somebody was to close that distance, if somebody was to get within the range of the legs, if somebody was to get in kicking distance or punching distance, that's not where I, as a jiu-jitsu fighter, lives. That's where I'm going to go ahead and work my way into clinch range right here. Okay. The biggest danger from MMA standpoint, from the viewpoint of a jiu-jitsu fighter, is trying to traverse that punching and clinching range as quickly as possible. I don't let anybody get into that point right there. If you do play in that direction, if you do play in that, you're basically giving up your skill level to somebody who might be more versed in striking than you. And again, I've been a martial artist for 24 years. Most of my time has been on grappling. And to be fair, most of my time has been on ground, okay? It hasn't been that striking thing. Or, a lot of times with the issue is with striking arts, weight classes exist for a reason, okay? And all arts, you could say the same in jiu-jitsu too. But a 120-pound boxer, you can be the most skilled 120-pound boxer in the world, you're not going to fare that well against a heavyweight. Okay, I do not want to exchange traumatic blows with my opponents. Okay, in theory, at least, the whole principle of jiu-jitsu, and it says like sizes and everything. But once we get into this clinch range, if I have technical abilities superior to my opponents, then I should have the ability to go ahead and dominate the match at that point, theoretically. Then you have these formulas of strength versus size and strength and size, et cetera, et cetera. At least in the original way, the jiu-jitsu was taught, okay? It was get into that clinch range, okay? Get into that range 3, because you'll have a much better chance of surviving and doing better in the encounter than you would at exchange 1 or 2 when you're exchanging heavy blows to somebody, okay? There's a definite group of people like, at all costs, I'm going to avoid striking with, okay? And pretty much given my abilities, I'm not going to say I have 0 experience on striking, but it's little enough that I don't want to exchange that right now. jiu-jitsu fighter. Okay, so it's that stance. Okay, yeah, dummy. You can go ahead and over right here, showing head. Again, weight on the back foot. I'm getting a little bit closer so you can see right here. Weight's on my back foot. You see the line is in between my head and my back foot right here. So I'm keeping that line right here. Makes it easy for me to flip that leg out right there. I've actually been working on my flexibility. I'll show you this in a second right here. When I'm working that flexibility, I'm working that right there. I'm keeping that distance until I can go ahead and get into that clinch range right there. Okay. That at least is the theory. That's what it is. That's describing what you saw in those early jiu-jitsu fights right there. Okay. Even House, although he had pretty good boxing for a Gracie, had that kind of backward stance right there that was just waiting to clinch in that distance. Okay. Even Half as a good boxer right there was actually trained boxing along with that. Did most of the striking damage on the ground. Okay. Or when it got in close range. Okay. If you look up Extreme Fighting 2, Hal Gracie versus Steve Nelson. There was a bet made on that fight between him and Gil Castillo. Gil Castillo actually fought in the UFC, had a championship bout against Matt Hughes. But Gil Castillo started off as a student of the Gracies, mainly Caesars at that point. Gil Castillo threw out a bet to Half that he couldn't win a fight on strikes. Okay. Half was like challenge accepted, so he simply took Nelson down to the ground and then didn't bother going for submission, proceeded to finish off the strikes from the back. Okay, that fight bugged Nelson enough to the point that he requested a rematch, which he got some years later, which quite frankly was a lot closer. Okay, Half did win that one by armbar and decisively on this. Steve Nelson has several years to prepare, and even though he lost the match, he gained a lot more respect on that match, I think, on the second match. Okay. A little bit of history for you, a lot of history for you actually. I love talking about the history of jiu-jitsu. How are you going to know where we're going if you don't know where we came from, okay? Or some of the reasons behind that, okay? So there we go. That kind of distance management right there. Now, in this day and age, how is that useful to you, okay? Even if you are watching this and you have some intention to fight in MMA, I very much doubt you're coming in with this stance right here. Okay, if somebody came in the cage and looked like this at you right there, you'd probably look at them funny. You don't see people play that much. Okay, these days in mixed martial arts, the emphasis is on the word mixed. You gotta know a little bit about everything. You not only have to know about jiu-jitsu, but you better know your striking, you better know wrestling, you got the ability to kind of cover that distance. You better have a high level athleticism along with that right there. All those things get put together. Okay. In terms of self-defense, though, okay, things haven't really changed in self-defense. Okay, the principles that were true 20 years ago are still true now when it comes down to self-defense, probably even more so at this point. Okay, in a self-defense situation, well, distance management is certainly going to come into play. Again, pretending Kevin might have coronavirus right there, so I'm going to keep my distance. I even insisted he keeps his distance. Okay. But let's say that Kevin is not an inanimate object right there, or even just some person that may or may not, that's just kind of minding their business. What if he's coming at me in a hostile manner? Okay, what do I do when confronted by somebody? What is my self-defense stance? Okay, and believe it or not, the stance that I'm standing in front of you talking into the camera is actually my self-defense stance. Okay, what am I doing here? Number one, my stance, I'll go ahead and have this right here, is this kind of side to side, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Again, I'm standing beside for you right here. And if you remember from our lessons about footwork, if I want to move in and out, I prefer to have my toes kind of pointed out this way so I have the ability to move in and out. Okay, I never want to cross my feet. Yeah, certainly when in confrontation, I don't need to fall over at this point right there. I'm careful about this stance right here. Okay, so that's one right there. I have my stance when I'm right here. But unlike when I'm moving around right there, I'm also a little bit more on the back foot right now. I'm a little bit out of distance. I'm a little bit more out of reach. I'm staying, keeping my head away from my potential opponent right there. Okay, keeping a distance right here. And you might have noticed, okay, I talk a lot with my hands, okay? And I've actually kind of developed that. Some people it comes more naturally to than others, but I talk a lot with my hands. I have my hands up front. My hands are open right here. In terms of combat or in terms of self-defense, My first thing is de-escalation. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to use my mouth and my words to talk out of things right there. Okay, and say things are going to calm down and try to neutralize the situation. But I'm also going to go ahead and have my hands up front. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and have my hands up front because in terms of de-escalation, this does a few things. Okay, number one, this isn't a de-escalation. This means I could potentially have something behind my back or I'm getting something right there. Okay. When the cops come out and say, get your hands up, they want to make sure you're not holding any weapons or you're not reaching for anything at this point. Okay. I'm just keeping my hands in front of myself right here. Palms open, which is a bit of a submissive standpoint right here. But I'm just going ahead and trying to talk my way through this. Okay. This lowers escalation purposes. This lowers tensions right here by having my hands open and in front of myself. Okay, so I hear, and for some of us, this is a natural way of talking because it keeps our hands in front of us, okay? But also, having my hands out in front and talking and being in the stance and being in what's theoretically a natural stance in this right there, even though my footwork is, I'm in my fighting stance right there, this also means that somebody comes in close and I don't have time to react, I'm not thinking like that, I can go ahead and create distance and keep them away. What? You're a clinch fighter. I thought you wanted to get in close. Yeah, in terms of sport, in terms of training, in terms of drilling, depending on the situation I'm at, most of the time if somebody's coming in hostile at me right there, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm going ahead and keeping you at bay right here. I go ahead and have that first reaction right there. Maybe my skill level is enough that I can go ahead and do the clinch art and put them in the chokes right there. But honestly, I just want to de-escalate the situation. I would way rather that you went ahead and went away from me right there. That's one thing everybody forgets about self-defense right there. Okay, if you manage to talk your way out of it, you walk away. If they don't cross that line, you never get within those 6 feet right there and give me coronavirus right now, okay, then we're gonna have an issue. You can say whatever you want, sticks and stones may break my bones, okay, but you're fine right there, okay? I can see your hands, you don't have a weapon, you're not gonna sneeze on me, you keep a distance, you can't hit me, you can't punch me, we don't really have a problem, okay? You can go ahead and you can say whatever you want right there, okay? But I'm not closing that distance right there, okay? So if you get too close, imagine it's coming toward me, and I have a little special effects. I can go ahead, have that barrier with my hands in between there, okay? Push it out of the way. Again, if you're on the camera, again, special effects, if you're coming in too close, coming in too close, coming in too close, my hands are here, keep you at distance, okay? You know, the simplest thing I want to do right there is keep you away from me right there. Back off, okay? This is self-defense, not self-offense right there. And this is something I would feel comfortable explaining even to my mother at this point, okay? Which is an important concept right there. There's a lot about self-defense. Is how well can somebody pull it off with a minimal amount of training in a stressful situation, okay? Just gonna go ahead and keep you at distance, okay? So my stance, something we can all kind of practice right there, my self-defense stance, if you were. Again, standing 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, toes going over this way. We'll talk about our footwork, our fencing before, because you've been good in paying along and paying attention and following through the classes. So my hands are up front, here, okay? I'm keeping my head away, okay? Why? Because at all else, I gotta protect my head. I do not want you swinging at my head at this point. And let's escalate this a couple of levels. We're at the bar, 2 guys are drunk, 2 girls can be drunk. Let's be honest about this one right there. 2 people are drunk right there. They come to words. You know, somebody wants to go ahead and fight me. They're going to go ahead and come in sloppy. They don't know anything. They're going to go ahead and start throwing haymakers at me. Where do they aim for the haymakers, especially for that person? They're aiming for the head. Nobody goes for the body blows, or liver shots in bar fights right there. Not that I don't want to tell stories, but let's just say that most people are looking to knock you out. Most people are going to look for the head right there. Keep my head away from you at this point. I'm going to try to talk. Okay, if you're that guy, maybe I'll offer to buy you a drink. I'm flagging down the bouncer over there. Hey, come over here. Like, hey, I'm letting you know, like, hey, I'm not the one that's letting out this aggression right now. I'm the one that's trying to keep myself safe. I'd rather just be on the dance floor talking to some pretty women or whatever. I don't want to go ahead and be that one that's like starting off that fight right there. I'd way rather buy that aggressive guy a drink, and we could both be friends afterwards when you calm down a bit, as opposed to getting involved in this, okay? But this is a position, just like, not only am I trying to de-escalate it, but at the very least, I can keep you at distance. Okay, I can keep you away, okay? I just want to get my groceries, bro. Okay, you're getting too close. We're sneezing face right here. I'm gonna go ahead and have that distance. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that distance. And again, this footwork as we do this, I'm pushing back and I'm moving. I want to make sure my footwork is good right here. The last thing I need to do as I come into and push off is put myself in a spot, okay, where I'm going to go ahead and fall backwards at this point, okay? So notice as I'm doing this, I'm pushing back my footwork right there. Okay, I'm leaning on my back foot right there. I'm planted. I'm not here, so I'm doing it from a wider stance right here, okay? As I get more threatened, okay, as people come into me, my stance stays wider, maybe get a little bit lower right there, but my base gets better. The more my feet are together, okay, if I try to do this, more of an opportunity to go ahead. And street fight is exactly where I want to practice my break falls. You can leave in your comments below or send me a message. Gumby here at martialarts.com. We're going to be changing up the format of these these online classes a bit. We're going to add some Zoom classes, Zoom only classes in fairly soon. We're going to pick out some different subject matters on this. We're going to go a little bit more specialized on that. Myself, Trevor, Eastside, Sean, see on that right there. What are you interested in? If you're really interested in a little bit more of the self-defense curriculum, which I don't often teach as much in the Jiu Jitsu classes we have here. We go a little bit more sport. If you're more interested in self-defense curriculum, let me know. I would love to set up that session for self-defense. We'll talk about more self-defense common places, scenarios, give you things to train, drill, look for, etc. Okay, but I would quite honestly love to be able to do that. Okay, that's just kind of a little bit of a taste right there, and a little bit of concepts, a little bit of things to think about. And in this case, this is a self-defense scenario, thought process, whatever. Then in 20 minutes, hopefully makes you a little bit safer. I'll never say that you're safe. I'll say you're safer. Okay. It's something I would feel comfortable explaining to my mother. Because one of the things that's important to me is like nothing that I ever do, I will give you a false sense of security. Okay. Like, it's going to be 5 to 20 minutes, and I can go ahead and walk down alley with $20 bills hanging on my wall. Look, I've been around this for a long time. I've seen what I've seen. I've done what I've done. And if I was getting an altercation, hypothetically, theoretically, I get nervous as anybody else. Okay. I don't like being in those situations, and I'll thrive off of that right there. I'll tell you 2 things based on my training, though. My adrenaline level doesn't kick in the same way people's do. My fight or flight instinct doesn't kick in the same way that people's do, or an untrained person's does. I can go ahead and think my way through stuff. Okay. Because Jiu-Jitsu's trained me to be in stressful situations more than one occasion. Okay. All right. Like I said, every class I like to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Every class I like to have warm-ups, technique and training, sparring, which I miss, and cool downs. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and do some basic cool downs right now. All right. Cat and cow stretches. Shoulders over hands, hips over knees, back knees and elbows down. Big deep breath into your nose, cow stretch. Taking as much air as possible. Exhale through your mouth. That's the cat stretch. At your own pace right now. Part of the cool down is go ahead, simmer down, clutch your thoughts. So pointed dogs, opposite arm, opposite leg, fingers to the heel. Downward dog. Walk out your elbows, walk out your knees, hips up, head bangs down the mat, stretch your heels down the mat. Keep breathing deeply into your nose. Exhale. Upward dog, top your feet in the mat, hips in the mat, head up, straight back. And keeping those hands in the mat, sit back, challenge those hips and heels. Let's go ahead and stand up. Now, I challenged you a couple of weeks ago. Find yourself a goal. Find yourself something that you weren't good at. Find yourself something you're good at. You get better at it. Find yourself something you're bad at. You get better at that too. My flexibility when it comes down here, being able to touch my toes, is horrible. Okay, so for the last couple of weeks during the shelter in place, that's what I've been working on. Look, give you a little thing that I learned, something I've been working on. Starting from here, I'm definitely a bit more warmed up. Going right here, bending down, keeping my legs straight. That's as low as I can get. I cannot touch my toes cold. Okay, so instead of starting from here, from that bad position coming through, I'll go ahead and bend my knees. Okay, just kind of grab onto the bottom of my feet. I'll hold onto a toe right here. And instead, I'm going to go ahead and try to straighten out my legs as much as I can. Ooh, feeling stretch on the calves and the thighs. Maybe that's an easy motion for you. Again, all the are things you're good at. I'm not good at this one right here, but I'm striving to get better on this. Going ahead, reaching out, stretching up. Again, my goal is by the end of the shelter in place, when we get back into place, I want to be able to touch my toes on the regular here. This seated position. Again, this might be easier for you. That's where we're at right now. If I can't touch here, I'm going to hit grab, use that to pull myself in. I will get better. And I have goals. Okay. When I achieve my goal, I set a new goal. My goal right now is to be able to touch my toes. Oh gosh. Again, I've been working on this. That's a record for you on before, on me before right there. So we'll get better as we go through. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate this. Man, this has been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. I love Jiu Jitsu so much. I love sharing with people. I love sharing with people in person. And I really can't wait to do this again. Okay. Until then, I can't wait to see you all. I love you all. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for joining.